Welcome to the Flynn Brothers podcast. I'm John.
And I'm Jimmy. Today's big idea: Leonardo DiCaprio versus Jack Nicholson.
We pit two of Hollywood's most iconic stars and lovable lotharios against each other in a variety of categories to determine who reigns supreme.
It's all coming up. But first, here's the Solons.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. 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 Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
We have observed something over the years. I suppose we've observed many things over the years.
That's why we have a podcast.
That's why we have the podcast. But one thing we have observed over the years is that Leonardo DiCaprio is slowly morphing into Jack Nicholson. Now, we are not the only ones who have observed this. That this is kind of known online, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a common. It's sort of a Jordan LeBron type of situation. Maybe not a perfect one-to-one there,
but LeBron going bald like Jordan, etc.
Sure.
Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah,
or?
the greatest. I mean, they're the number one guy that they're respective.
Sure,
era.
okay, all right, that makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
My physical evidence. Leonardo, he's getting tanner and tanner. Nicholson, as he got older, tanner and tanner. The hairline getting higher and higher. Nicholson, obviously, the high hairline.
I have a theory that Leo has done a little work.
A little Turkish, the old Turkish hairline extension potion.
He took a Turkish bath, if you
if you will.
If you catch him.
The ladies, they stay young, as they did with Nicholson, right? To paraphrase Dazed and Confused, he gets older, they stay the same age, although they have gotten slightly older. We'll talk about that later. And I must say, I saw a picture of Leonardo DiCaprio in sunglasses, and that, for me, really put it over the top, right? Sunglasses, Nicholson known for his sunglasses. He's basically a dead ringer for Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. No, 100%. If you were to cast a biopic of Jack Nicholson, you would cast Leo.
And fun fact, they've been in a movie together in their career. Do you know what film?
The Departed.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Good. I thought maybe you'd have a brain fart.
It
but,
is.
You got it.
It is sort of one of those where it's such an ensemble picture. They don't really face off too often. Okay, they should have a few. They have some scenes.
They have most of their scenes together.
Oh,
in fact. So that's just dead wrong. But what are your thoughts? This is a movie we talked a little bit on our best movie of the century podcast series, which you can go back and listen to, even if you've already listened to it. It's re-listenability is one of the hallmarks of this podcast. But what do you think of The Departed and sort of each of their performances in that film?
It is a film where the sum is less than the parts.
Yes.
If that makes sense. There's so much good raw material in that film, but it just kind of doesn't come together. I think it was made in sort of a weird, hyper edgy time. Like there's a little bit too much sort of gratuitous swearing, and like it just feels a little bit much in every sense.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about with the edginess, there's a lot of kind of forced camera work, even for Scorsese, and slick editing and stuff like that. It's just kind of, as we're moving into a more digital era, it just kind of, it reeks of the year 2006. The performances are pretty good overall. I think the thing that kind of lets down the film is Vera Farmiga. Her character just is not very well developed, and she just doesn't give a very good performance. And so much of the film hinges on kind of the love triangle with her, DiCaprio, and Damon. And then if you look at DiCaprio's performance, it's good, but he's kind of just panicked the whole time. There doesn't seem to be much range. And then Nicholson is just kind of over-the-top evil. It's kind of our last good, fun Jack Nicholson performance. But even for him, it's kind of gratuitously evil. And it's a movie that I think is really fun the first time you watch it, and there's a crazy twist ending. Even the second or third time you watch it, but as you kind of go through it more than that and then kind of compare it to Scorsese's other movies, it just really... it feels like minor Scorsese.
Yeah, I think when you're watching it, you're like, I kind of wish I just threw in Goodfellas instead, is how I feel about it. I also think the choice of Leo's haircut in the movie is just all wrong. Like, Leo doesn't look like a cop to me. He doesn't even look like an undercover cop or a guy who
criminal.
He isn't really, like, maybe he's on the edge of the law, but to be like, I never had nothing. I don't know if I buy that from Leo.
It's tough. He's just so handsome and dashing.
Yeah.
But for my money, outside of The Departed, Jack Nicholson has always been and always will be my number one favorite movie star. And there's a lot of reasons for this. One of the things I love about him is he somehow is both creepy and sexy in all of his movies.
Yeah.
Like he's very weird and you're kind of scared of him. But then he's also obviously a Lothario in his personal life. And he does have kind of this attractiveness to him.
He could flick on the charm like
Yes.
nobody's business.
And the same thing goes with he's incredibly funny, but he's also very intense. And same thing, as you said, he can kind of flick between those two. He has an incredible voice. There's sort of some campfire gossip that the way he developed his speech pattern was through years of pot smoking, and it delayed his speech and gave him this very intentional speech pattern where you think of Jack Nicholson. Like that is kind of how he talks, right? And it's very distinct. And then really, his superpowers to me are his eyebrows and his smile, right? Incredibly expressive eyebrows, incredibly devious yet kind of charming smile. And I don't know, for my money, he is just endlessly watchable.
Completely agree. Yeah, there's many movies I feel like in the 1970s that, and in his real prime, where the movie just wouldn't work if there was anyone else in the role.
Yeah, and we'll get to that later when we compare these two. But we're still setting the table. No need to dig in just yet.
Let me get my forks. Here's
Hey,
the
easy,
napkins.
yeah. Just setting the table, of course. Not eating yet. DiCaprio, though, in terms of modern day, like I said, he's kind of morphing into Jack Nicholson. He kind of is probably, I'd say, my favorite modern movie star and the most who kind of occupies that Jack Nicholson place in Hollywood's landscape. Would you say Leo is your favorite modern movie star, or do some other ones come to mind?
I just can't even really think of anyone who holds a candle. Like maybe Chalamet is, but that's a distant second.
And Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, these are other ones that come to mind. But these, again, are like, Cruise is like pretty married to the Mission Impossible franchise. It'll be interesting to see where he goes in like the next 5 to 10 years. Brad Pitt, it's been pretty hit or miss. But with Leo, it's always a good original movie. Every couple or few years, he's paired with an auteur director, and you're going to get your money's worth, right? And there've been this era of kind of fellow movie stars like the Will Smiths and the Bruce Willises, and just for whatever reason, or varied reasons, I should say, these guys have kind of dropped off. And Leo, to me, is just kind of the only one left who really is worth it every single time.
Yeah, there's like Christian Bale, Russell Crowe, but these guys, Rick Bale's a little bit more kind of alternative, perhaps, and Crowe just sort of let himself go. Like, didn't have the desire to stick it out the long way that Leo has, where Leo still has that charisma, that sort of gravitas about him, where you buy him as a leading man in something that isn't like a direct-to-streaming, rock'em sock'em action thriller.
And I would say, like, Denzel or Meryl Streep, people kind of in the twilight. They're just sort of more in the twilight of their careers, right? They've kind of gone past sort of their movie star prime. I really feel that, Leo kind of cemented himself as ahead of the pack, especially after one battle after another. I just feel like it was another Best Picture win for him, another Best Actor nomination. He's incredible in the movie. It itself is a great movie. And to me, it's just kind of, as you're looking at his filmography and as we're going to compare him to the great Jack Nicholson, it really is a very interesting conversation between these great Hollywood heavyweights. And I'm very excited to dive in. Do you have sort of an idea of where you're leaning before we look at the evidence and then look at the cases very closely?
If I were to say, I would say that I'm still more leaning Nicholson. However, I would not be surprised if Leo's able to have a bit more longevity than Nicholson, just with the modern technology and, back-to-backing Once Upon a Time and one battle after another. You're like, man, he's hotter than
Yes,
ever.
there were a couple of movies in between, as we'll get to. Selective memory, Mandela effect, perhaps. Anyway, let's get into our first category. We're going to have 5 categories, and we're going to hopefully use these to determine who is better between Leonardo DiCaprio versus Jack Nicholson. Better, such a subjective word. There can only be one, you know what I mean? Highlander style,
Yeah,
right?
you got to chum the waters here.
Absolutely. So we'll have our great producer, Will Slade. He'll keep score as we go throughout this. We're not the best in math, you and I, are we?
No.
Okay, first category. Better sex symbol. Both these guys, sex symbols of their time. Let's start with Leonardo DiCaprio. He was a teen idol, first establishing his career in This Boy's Life and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He was known for that curtains hairstyle that was big in the 1990s. I kind of got it, actually, here, if you're watching on video.
Yeah.
The middle part, right, and the
Right.
bangs kind of coming down the side, the
got a-
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the Leo, you know, it was a big hairstyle.
They got a dangle 90s, just personified in a million like textbooks. I remember growing
Yes,
up. Every
yes.
kid, there was at least one kid in the illustrations with the Leo cut.
Yes, mom jeans, lady
Right.
next to him, and then the curtains haircut. Then, late 90s, Romeo plus Juliet, and of course, Titanic come out and catapult Leo from teen idol to sex symbol. Is he, at that time, the hottest any A-list actor has ever been?
Yes, he.
You didn't even really give it a think.
No, because I don't need to. Because he's still coasting off of that. He is still riding that rocket fuel that was
Right.
Romeo and Juliet and Titanic. I mean,
He's still getting chicks based on how hot he was 30 years ago. That's what you're saying.
that's what I'm saying.
He is, of course, known for famously only dating women under the age of 25. There was a rotating cast of models he was with, kind of all sort of like white adjacent, I guess. They'd kind of be European or Brazilian, etc. A few, just to name: Giselle Bundchen, ex-wife of Tom Brady; Bar Raffaele, I think is how you say it; and then Camilla Morone, or Morone, I'm not sure. But anyway, Leo has evolved. At the ripe age of 51, he has made the brave decision to date Vittoria Chiretti, an Italian model who's currently 27, so he broke his rule of dating women
must
beyond 25.
She must be quite the number. He gets a lot of flack for this.
Uh-oh.
I'll go out on the limb.
Uh-oh.
Leo should be allowed, because when you get older, it's unfair for Leo just to continue monopolizing your time. If you want to have a family, if you want to develop sort of a grander, bigger life, and he just wants to keep eating pasta and smoking cigarettes on yachts. Like, if he wants to just do that, and it seems like that is what he wants to do, and all power to him, go ahead and do that if that's what makes you happy. I think it's selfish to keep a woman hanging around who might want more from him. And I think when you're under the age of 25, you're still in this like fun, exploratory part of your life. And Leo's like, hey, there's not many more guys who can give you more fun or adventure than I can. So I don't think that, maybe
Devil's
it's
advocate.
Yeah, maybe he's not the most. Maybe these aren't the most fulfilling relationships, but this is clearly what he wants and what he's grown accustomed to.
He
and,
dates 25 because he still lives like he's 25.
That's it, and he hasn't been forced to grow up at all. He's an actor.
Yeah, that's true. They're trained liars. Well, he's one of the best liars we've had in our society. He's one of our best liars in society. Yes, I don't know what a woman would think of your argument there, but I commend your willingness to go out on a limb and defend a 51-year-old man's right to date women in their mid-20s.
Now look,
very brave argument you just made. Very brave.
I'll die on my shield for Leo. All the great movies he's given me.
Yeah.
I'll die. I may not agree with your right to bed, 25-year-old sir, but I will die to defend it. All right.
Is that a reference to something?
I think it's like, I may not agree with what you say, but I will die to defend your right to say it.
Sorry to pop
American
your
Revolution.
balloon. Oh, maybe that.
You tried to catch me in another sort of memory gap, like you already have a couple times this episode. I was ready for you.
You got me.
I'm
there.
sharpening up.
So you think people don't necessarily still find him hot now? He's mostly just coasting on how he looked 30 years ago.
I would say yes before this most recent Oscar tour. I think he got a little
the stash.
He took the Turkish bath. He got a little clip, a little pull, you know?
Right.
And he's back. He's a new man. He looks 5 years younger already than he did in one battle after another.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's back. I think he's entering this sort of second, third, fourth, fifth wave, whatever it is, of his attractiveness.
No kids, never married. Has the ship sailed for Leo?
No.
Oh,
No.
you think he'll have kids? He'll get married?
I don't know if he will. I mean, we said the same thing about George Clooney, but like it hasn't sailed.
When do you think Clooney got? When did Clooney? He's about his like early 60s. Probably got married 10, 15.
Yeah, I
actually,
think
he's
like
about Leo's
50s,
age,
yeah.
probably. You really think Leo is going to get married or ever have kids?
We never thought Jay-Z would get married or have kids. We never thought George Clooney,
I mean, really though, do you actually think he will? Let's talk about the individual for a moment.
No,
Don't
the
compare him to
individual-
other men.
Well, I would say he's still physically capable of doing it.
Of course. But do you actually think in his? I mean, Pacino. I don't think he ever got married, right?
I think he'll want. Won't he want a legacy? Won't he want to leave?
The films are the kids.
Yeah.
His films are the kids.
You're right. Probably no. Probably
That's what
no.
I think. Let's move on to Nicholson now. So Jack Nicholson, unlike Leo, he did not have sort of these on-screen roles that catapulted him into sex symbol icon. He just sort of started appearing in movies and became a personality and just sort of was known as a tabloid Lothario. And you know, he was associated, especially in the 70s, 80s, with the Playboy Mansion, right? That's something that he was sort of celebrated for back in his day. But nowadays, we wouldn't really celebrate Leo if he was hanging out at the Playboy Mansion. It's just such a relic from a previous time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just it was a time and a place sort of thing. I think that there was, you know, it was groundbreaking at the time, but now feels musty and sad, so it's not as cool anymore.
He lived in a time of like, you know, free love, sexual exploration, promiscuity, stuff like this. And again, it's just things we don't really celebrate in our leading men as much anymore, right? Like even look at Chalamet, right? In a previous generation, it'd be weird. Like it's like it would make sense he's dating a very famous woman, but like all the stories would be about like he's cheating on Kylie Jenner. He was at the Playboy Mansion. He does this, that, right? Previous generations would be like saying that, where it's like, here's a guy who's dating a single mother.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, it's
Yeah.
very atypical for a
Right.
leading man, isn't it?
Right. You know, she's not the waitress down at your local diner.
No,
but,
she's not your typical single mother, but
but,
still, by definition.
Yeah, you are correct.
Nicholson was married once to actress Sandra Knight for 6 years in the 1960s. After that, he had 6 kids by 5 different women. Very different than Leo.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wow.
That's quite a few kids by quite a few different women.
I did not actually know that, I don't think. So that's,
Really?
that's
Oh,
a
yeah,
good fun fact.
He's got that son, I think Ray Nicholson, who's
Yeah.
in stuff, you know?
He's in stuff. He also, his best thing that he does is he's at the Lakers games a lot.
Yes, there you
And
go. You
he-
got to carry on.
Yeah.
Someone's got to use Jack's tickets. He's
Absolutely.
still got them, right?
Yeah, and he looks kind of like young Jack, so
Little
then
bit.
you're able to remember that Nicholson was there. Yeah.
He was Jack Nicholson, known best for his 17-year on-again, off-again relationship with Angelica Houston. This relationship famously ended when he got actress and model Rebecca Broussard pregnant, and he told Angelica Houston over dinner, he waited until the dessert course, and the way he broke it to her was he said, quote, "Someone is gonna have a baby." Is that one of the scumbaggiest ways you could ever reveal to your longtime partner that you're having a kid with another woman?
Just kind of unforgivable, really.
Yes.
I mean, that's why the relationship is, you know, if he had framed it in a different way, I don't really know how else you say it. It's a little cowardly.
It's the lack of accountability.
Yeah.
Someone
Yes.
it's
the
you know,
passive voice is what does it.
Yes. Especially for a guy who, you know, spent his life reading and acting, and, you know, he was a part of the humanities, right? He understood passive voice
Right.
and this sort of thing, right? So I think, you know, as we kind of wrap up here, I think we can both agree maybe that Leo is more attractive as a younger man. But the interesting thing about Jack Nicholson is he stayed hot until kind of his like early mid 60s. Maybe not hot, but he's still a romantic lead in Something's Gotta Give, right? Where he's with Diane Keaton, he's dating Amanda Peet. He's like this aging Lothario, and then he makes the bravest decision an old man can make by dating a woman their own age, right? In Hollywood, it's the bravest thing an aging Lothario can do. And it's interesting because like I look at Leo, and you mentioned he looks a little younger now. But do you see him hanging on for another 15 years?
I think he could. I really do.
So?
I really do think he could. I don't know if he has what Nicholson has, though, whereas Leo, I would argue, has more attractive features. Like his face is more attractive. He's got better hair. There's something just about Jack that transcends his physical flesh.
Yes.
Like
it's
there's
his presence, his aura, as the kids say.
Yes. There's this clip when Jennifer Lawrence was first hitting and she's at the Oscars for the first time. And he comes up behind her and he's like, "You look like an old girlfriend of mine." she's sort of playing like, she's like, "Oh my God, it's Jack Nicholson," or whatever. And she has some like little whippy line and he immediately just has a quip right back. And it's like, he still's got it.
Yeah, he's
even
probably
though he's
70-something there, right? Yeah.
Looking dumpy, looking poured into a tuxedo, and he is still got it.
He's unbelievable. Has riz, as the kids like to say. I don't find that their roles and their sex symbolness was played up too much in their movie roles. I think the early Leo movies did it, but as he's gone along in his career, like, it's not like he ever has scenes like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt rips the shirt off and in the theater we're in, people are wooing and clapping and stuff. Like, Leo doesn't really do that in his movies. And, like, Nicholson never really played it up too much in his movies. Nicholson would really play up kind of his romance and, like you said, his ability to sort of flirt and seduce and be charismatic. But Leo, it's never really playing it up. It's just kind of, he just is a leading man who happens to be very, very good looking.
I think, honestly, Leo could have played it up a touch more. I think he really made an effort to get away from it.
Yes, I agree. Be a serious actor, quote unquote.
Yeah, and I think that I wouldn't mind seeing a couple later roles for him while he's still sort of got the charisma, sort of a Something's Gotta Give type of movie. I think would be a great fit for him.
So who's the better sex symbol, Leonardo DiCaprio or Jack Nicholson?
Boy, I mean, it's Leo the boy, Jack the man.
Right. But who's a more enduring Hollywood? When you think sex symbol and you got to pick one of these guys, who's the better one?
Boy, I think you
Leo with curtains or Jack with sunglasses?
I think it's Jack with sunglasses. I think he's like the pioneer. I think he showed all the other fellas the way to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to disagree. I am actually going to go Leo. I do think, and we'll get into this later in kind of their lifestyles and stuff, but I do think, like, Nicholson is maybe a better quote-unquote celebrity, but I think as a sex symbol in terms of what would appeal to women, whose poster you're putting up and sort of that sort of like, as you're like a teenager and you're first starting to have like crushes on Hollywood actors and stuff. I think that is Leo is kind of the definitive version of that. So it looks like we're going to split this one, and that's okay.
I think that's a great point that you made.
Thank you, buddy. Let's do a quick break. We'll be right back. We were split on who the better sex symbol is. 1 point for Nicholson, 1 point for DiCaprio. We're going to move on to our next category, better filmography. So both Leo and Jack have stacked filmographies, classic after classic after classic. So what I'm going to do, buddy, we're going to do a little game here. I'm going to name the most acclaimed movies from each one of these guys, and I just want you to give me a 1 to 3 word reaction. Wow. Name the movie, bang, reaction.
Got it.
Another movie, bang, reaction.
Wow.
Feel free to say pass if you haven't seen the movie or okay, you can't really form an opinion in the proper amount of time. I could jump in or we'll see, hang you out to dry. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball, right? I can't scatter bones and tell the future.
No prep. Here we go.
No prep. Here we go. This is John Flynn off the cuff. I'm just going to go through, starting with Leonardo DiCaprio, his hit movies from his filmography. What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Oh, prescient prodigy actor steals movie.
Great. And remember, you don't have to just do the performance. You can do the whole movie as a whole as
Sure,
well.
that's all I really remember from Gilbert Grape.
His performance,
It's just
yeah.
like, wow, that is like incredibly accurate while not being in I Am Sam territory.
We went over 1 to 3 words. All right, next movie, Romeo plus Juliet.
Gaudy, garish, unnecessary.
Baz Luhrmann, Titanic.
The best movie ever? Question mark.
Gangs of New York.
Oh no, sorry.
Catch Me If You Can.
Should have been better.
Yeah. The Aviator.
Pass. I haven't seen it. Want to.
The Departed.
Should have been better.
Shutter Island.
Kind of underrated. Like really weird and fun.
Inception.
Oh, bwong.
That's the Hans Zimmer music you're doing there. Yeah. The world flipping upside down.
Yeah, that one rocks. That movie, that is the ultimate movie that rocks.
Yeah. Very, very astute analysis. Django Unchained.
Oh. One of the best history movies ever. And like Leo is a villain. Delightful. Sorry to go over 1 to 3.
Good. Wolf of Wall Street.
Leave something on the table.
The Revenant.
Fine. Take the Oscar.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
The best.
Don't Look Up.
McKay, what are you doing?
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Scorsese, what are you doing?
One Battle After Another.
Oh, fantastic.
So, according to me, I put these in bold. Of those movies I just named, these are the Leonardo, DiCaprio, Flynn Brothers favorites, movies we have to watch and rewatch until the day we die. I have Titanic.
Yep.
I have Inception.
Yep.
I have Django.
Yeah.
I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Right.
And I have One Battle After Another. Any I'm missing that we had gone through, or you think that's pretty much it?
I think that's it. I think
Right.
Leo has a few kind of near misses in his career. You wouldn't like completely miss the dartboard, but they're not bullseyes.
Yes. All right, I'm going to move on to Nicholson now, okay? A few of these you probably haven't seen. Nicholson, of course, from a prior generation. You know,
Sure.
we're young men still in a way. But I'm going to go through the hits from Nicholson's filmography, who once was quoted as saying to Aaron Eckhart, "I don't make movies, I make classics." One of his early roles, Easy Rider.
He's sick, but the movie is a little, underwhelming.
5 Easy Pieces.
I haven't seen it.
I've only seen the diner scene, which is great. The Last Detail.
Oh. Guy movie.
Chinatown.
Forget it, Jake. Yeah, that one's a classic. Stone cold classic.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Maybe the best performance anyone's ever given ever / best movie ever. Best movie about like dudes like hanging out.
What about The Last Detail? You
Well,
just
that
said
one's just a
guy.
few dudes. That's
Yeah,
a tight circle. This is a big circle.
We're going over our quota here.
Yeah.
The Shining.
Come on, man. The best. Another the best movie. Question mark.
Reds. That was the Warren Beatty of Pilots movie. I don't think you ever saw
That's
that
a
one.
no from me.
Terms of Endearment. This is one I have also not
Pass.
seen. Batman.
Ooh. He's responsible for these franchise films being taken seriously.
A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth.
What is the truth? I'll give you a few more words.
I'm not sure. Oh, about the film or in the movie that they're bullying a guy out of the armed forces, or
About the movie.
the truth is that it's a few great scenes held together by less than good stuff.
As Good as It Gets.
I'll defer this one to you.
I just watched it recently. I'd only seen it twice. He plays a piece of shit in this movie. And the movie should not work, except Jack Nicholson is in the movie, and it's a pretty great movie. It's flawed.
Yeah.
It's not perfect, but God, does he elevate it. About Schmidt.
This one I haven't maybe seen once. I have positive feelings.
Yes.
But he's OCD, right?
No,
No,
this
that's not-
one
that's
is
not
he's just old, retired. His wife dies. He goes on a road trip. This is the one where he gets in the hot tub with Kathy Bates, goes full frontal in the hot tub. But he's great in it.
Kind of a little
He
bit
plays
of
a sad sack, which is very anti-Nicholson.
Yeah.
Last couple, Something's Gotta Give.
That's just great. The thing where he drops the sunglasses with just his eyebrows.
That's as good as it gets.
There you go. Sorry.
Something's Gotta Give. Speaking of
Gotta
full
Give as good as
frontal,
it
that's
gets.
a Diane Keaton full frontal.
That's true.
There you go. But he's wonderful in that movie, Agent Lothario. And then finally, The Departed.
Thanks for coming, Jack. Really, you make the movie. Like, without
Yeah.
him, that movie really is not worth it.
I agree. I have 5 stone cold classic Flynn Brothers favorites. Watch them till the day we die. The Last Detail,
Yeah,
Chinatown,
right.
Cuckoo's Nest,
Yep.
Shining, Batman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think that's
those are
pretty
them.
much all of them. So that's a tie. That's 5-5. Stone cold classic. Flynn Brothers favorites. 5 each for Nicholson and DiCaprio. Regardless of them and their performances in the movies, I'm curious, do you have a favorite DiCaprio movie and then a favorite Nicholson movie? Like, when you think of them, what movie do you think of? Let's start with DiCaprio.
DiCaprio is probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
Yeah.
/ Titanic
Yeah.
are the two that really jump out at me as like he was made for these roles.
Yeah.
Like just his youthful charisma really elevates Titanic, and then he is just the quintessential old washed up movie star.
Yes.
Like he just fits
Yes.
hand in glove. And then for Nicholson, it's The Shining and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yeah.
Where it's just like he can really turn up the creepy or he can really turn up the charm. And he really makes you feel for the people in the mental asylum under
Right.
Nurse Ratchet's thumb. you love him and them as a
Right,
result
right.
of his performance.
Who has the better filmography? And then again, I don't want you to think of better performances by them. Who just happened to be in better movies? Of course, their performances added to the greatness of their movies. But when you look over their filmographies, and I got you a copy of the filmography, so you go ahead and turn the page there. You got them there. Look these over. You tell me who you think has the better filmography. As a reminder, tied 5-5, right? Same amount of Flynn Brothers favorites. But if you had to make a call, Nicholson versus DiCaprio, who's got the better filmography?
I'd give it to Nicholson, I think.
Yeah.
I think he has maybe of the Flynn brother favorites, I'd say 4 of The Last Detail, Chinatown, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and Shining are just better than the top 4 of Leo's.
Yeah,
like those
I'd
are
probably
the
agree.
best probably top 4 of
Yes.
any actors that's ever been in anything.
Yes, if you've never seen The Last Detail, very underseen film from the 70s. Super, super brilliant. I think it's Hal Ashby who directed it. For him to go 3 years in a row, I believe it was 3 years in a row, Last Detail, Chinatown, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is pretty insane.
Yeah.
Leo certainly has had kind of not as much of like a one hit. He's had more just kind of sustained excellence, which Nicholson had as well. It'll be really interesting, though, to see Leo age into this later part of career. I think I'm going to agree with you. Better filmography, Jack Nicholson. So that'll be an extra 2 points to our pal Jack Nicholson. Yeah, Leo, there's a couple movies that just feel like unfulfilled promise. I enjoy Gangs of New York. I enjoy Wolf of Wall Street. Don't Look Up's okay. Killers of the Flower. There's just a lot of these kind of pairings with Scorsese that are good, not great, I would say.
Yeah, I think Scorsese just recognizes that Leo's pure box office, but for as many movies that they've done together, I just don't really see them as being like the best fit for each other.
He's a better pair with De Niro. He had
Yeah.
his Leo. His name was Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
He's a man in his 80s who's still having kids.
He's a second wife. Leo's Scorsese's
Second
second
wife.
wife. You love him. You love him. And there's
yeah.
a lot of great things, but they're not the first
not
wife.
first wife.
They weren't with you in New York when you were poor doing cocaine.
There you
know?
go. Right. All right, next category. Who is the better quote-unquote celebrity? So I want us to consider sort of their hobbies, their celebrity friendships, their activist causes, stuff like this. So let's look at their celebrity friendships. Leo's number one pal, you know him. Let's hear it.
Toby.
Toby Maguire, that's correct. His other pal, when I think of Leo, Kate Winslet. I think that's kind of his other good pal I think of, the co-star from Titanic.
Who, like, is his life happier if he just falls in love with her after Titanic? They've been together?
Maybe.
Probably
I don't know.
not.
Who knows?
He's a searcher. He's a yachtsman.
He's a wanderer. Nicholson's celebrity friendships. Marlon Brando, Warren Beatty, they all lived on Mulholland Drive, and then Danny DeVito, another big friend of his. So it feels like in terms of star power, maybe Nicholson's got that leg up with Beatty and Brando, although Kate Winslet, no slouch. But yeah, Nicholson certainly had a few more famous pals.
Yeah.
In terms of their hobbies, they're both Laker fans, but Nicholson, obviously a much more iconic courtside figure. He was there for the Showtime Lakers. When I kind of picture them as celebrities, we talked about this earlier. When I close my eyes and think of Jack Nicholson, sunglasses, tuxedo, Oscars. That is what I think of, right?
Really? I see him in his like Laker gear courtside, even firing a cigarette. Like I think what Nicholson has, the DiCaprio literally loves blending in. Like he's got that black New York Yankees cap.
He wears the COVID mask, so he's not recognized.
Right.
He's still doing that.
Which, to be fair, like the nature of fame has changed, and so you can't just go around showing your face wherever you want. But Nicholson, to me, particularly with the Laker games, didn't seem like he minded you were looking at him. In fact, knew you were looking at him, expected that you were looking at him, and still was playing his character. And it's like, I can hang, like the fact that he had gravitas on a court with Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Lakers and the Celtics, great rivalries through the finals, like that takes some real presence.
Yes, no, that's true. When you close your eyes and think of Leonardo DiCaprio as a celebrity, where are you seeing him? Is it on the yacht with the young gals? Is it mask on, black hat, going to Nobu? What is it?
There's definitely that. I see him. There's aquamarine waters. He's swimming. It's like there's those long lens photos of him from like like 3 miles away where he's on a boat. He's not even in great shape. You can tell he's been eating pasta 3 meals a day.
Right. We don't necessarily know a lot about either men, right? Like we know like kind of their dating life and some of their perspectives and stuff. Leo, a little more of a political activist, I would say, big into environmentalism. Nicholson, kind of liberal, like anti-Iraq war. I think, said like, we should pay teachers more and, pro-drug, legality of drugs and stuff like that. But more just kind of like a 60s Kennedy Democrat. Whereas I don't know that Leo's super political. I think he more like pals around with oligarchs and just kind of is a eco-tarian, what would you call a guy? Environmentalist? I don't know what you call him.
Yeah. I mean, none of them have really ever taken any stance where it's like put their name on the line or jeopardize their careers, which I think is totally fine based off, some of the outspoken celebrities that we've seen where you're just kind of clunky with it. It's like, stick to what you're really good at, I think, if you want to be a great movie star.
There you go. All right, so let's decide, who do we like more as a celebrity in terms of their hobbies, friendships, stuff like that? Are you picking Leo or are you picking Jack?
I mean, I'm picking Jack just because of the courtside Laker thing, I think really tips it.
Why did Leo not pick up that mantle? He could be courtside. He just likes Europe more, I guess.
He does. He's not here enough in Los Angeles in the winter.
I would give it to Jack as well. So that's 2 more points for Jack. I think it might be, 5-1, something like that. All right, so Leo's got some catching up to do, and he can start right after the break. All right, our last category is going to be a 2-part category and a nod to one of the wonderful age-old questions, one of our favorite games we have here on the podcast. Great actor or movie star. And we're going to be examining Leo and Jack in terms of who is the better actor and who is the better movie star. I want to start with their acting bona fides. So, in terms of their Oscar nominations and wins, any idea how many nominations Leo has had?
6.
7. And he won once for The Revenant. How many nominations for Jack?
8.
12. He is tied for the second all time. He has won 3 times. That is also tied for second of all time. He won Best Actor for Cuckoo's Nest and As Good as It Gets, and then Best Supporting Actor for Terms of Endearment. Do you think Leo, at some point, when all is said and done, can get up to 12 Oscar nominations?
Depends how long he wants to keep working.
Oh, he's never going to stop.
Then, yes. I feel like
Yeah.
this era of his career, he's getting a little bit choosier. I just think, like, anytime he's in a movie now, just because he's the last really true movie star, it's almost a guaranteed nom.
Jack went until it was maybe 70, 71. So, Leo, you're looking at like 20 more years, 5 more nominations. I don't know how many movies he's going to make in 20 years. Probably only like 5 to 7 more movies, I would guess. I mean, he makes one every like couple, 3, 4 years, you know? It kind of depends, you know? Depends how much pasta he wants to eat, you know? It depends how much Europe time he needs. They've both won Best Picture 3 times. Leo for Titanic, The Departed, and One Battle After Another. Nicholson for Cuckoo's Nest, Terms of Endearment, and The Departed. I have some actor questions to help us kind of figure out who the better actor is. Which of the two do you think is more versatile, like can play a more wide range of roles?
Interesting.
I'll jump in.
Go ahead.
Leo. I thought pretty roundly.
Really?
Nicholson, to me, is usually playing that oscillation I was talking about earlier with kind of creepy but a little sexy, funny but a little intense. There kind of is this like anti-hero aspect to a lot of his characters. They're all sort of Jack Nicholson-y, whereas I feel like Leo can disappear a little more. Calvin Candy is not like Rick Dalton, is not like Jack from Titanic, right? He has a wide range of roles he can play, whereas, you know, he fits himself to the character, whereas I feel like Nicholson would make the character fit to him. So I find Leo a little more versatile.
I agree in terms of like characters they can play. I feel like Nicholson is a little bit more of a versatile performer in that I feel like he just has a few more notes on his guitar that he can play as opposed to Leo. But I think you're right in terms of character. Yeah, Leo can blend in a little better.
Okay, now I want to ask you, better at playing villains and then better at playing good guys. What do you think?
Nicholson's probably better as a villain because he's played it more often, although I don't know if he ever played a villain better than Calvin Candy.
Yeah, tough to say. I think another interesting thing is you could say Nicholson is better at playing good guys who seem like villains, and Leo can play villains who seem like good guys, right? There's kind of that element to it. Not that Leo's played a lot of bad guys and villains, but it is interesting. I do think, you know, we think of Leo more as if you're used to the Star Wars archetypes, Leo's more the Luke Skywalker, Jack's more the Han Solo, right? The edgier, sexier one, that's kind of Nicholson, whereas Leo's kind of your more straightforward leading man. But I don't know, in terms of being a better actor, and if we had to kind of decide acting chops, I probably would lean Leo. I think in terms of just being a technical actor and the wide range of characters he can play and just sort of the variety of his filmography, I think in terms of that sort of versatility, you got to give it to him.
So the corollary to that would be you'd say that maybe Jack Nicholson's slightly better as a movie star?
Well, we have to get into those questions, don't we? Here are some movie star questions.
Okay.
Who do you think of the two is more compulsively watchable? You just cannot take your eyes off of them when they are on screen.
It's Jack. He's number one.
I
all time.
100% agree. Curious what you think their movie star superpower is. Like when you think of them, what is their physical feature where you're like, that's why they're a movie star?
You said it earlier with Jack being his eyebrows and smile. I think that's right on.
Yeah.
I think it's Leo's eyes.
The blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's precisely what I had written down. Who has a better sounding movie star name? What sounds better off the tongue seen on a poster? Leonardo DiCaprio or Jack Nicholson? Both of those are just sensational.
Pure music.
I think it's DiCaprio, maybe. It's maybe
Leonardo DiCaprio does have a real
it's a little
musicality
foreign
about it.
sounding, right? And we're Italian, we can say this.
Right.
Jack Nicholson is just pure Americana, right?
So good.
Jack.
Jack
Nicholson. You have the double kind of K sound with Nicholson and the DiCaprio. You have Leonardo DiCaprio. Like you have that nice kind of assonance. It's assonance versus consonants, you know?
They're very much their names, too.
Yes,
Like, they
yes.
extremely look like guys named the way that they are.
I may have to go DiCaprio on this.
We'll give it to him.
Give it to him.
It's a little catchy.
Okay. Now, we're going to do the swap test to see if there's an advantage as movie stars. We are going to say, could Leo have played this Jack Nicholson role? Could Jack have played this Leo role? Okay.
Love it. Can't wait.
Could a young Jack Nicholson have starred in Titanic?
No.
Some of these really made me laugh. I completely agree.
So funny to think about, though.
Could young Leo have done Cuckoo's Nest?
I think maybe.
That's kind of where I would
think
land.
maybe.
Not
I don't
as
know if,
well, obviously,
No.
but I do think he could have figured that one out.
I think if Ken Casey's book came out in the 90s and it wasn't around, I think he would have been the one
kind of
cast.
Aviator, Catch Me If You Can,
Yeah.
aged Leo, not too young,
Right.
but you know, still youthful. This one is a slam dunk. Yes, all right. I'm just gonna give it away because think how much better this movie would be if he replaced Leo. Could Jack Nicholson have been in one battle after another?
Oh, my God.
Like, how good would that movie
Yeah.
have been with an older Jack Nicholson as
Wow.
the stoner? Oh, my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
It just, as I was thinking about that, I was just like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
It would have been sensational.
Yeah, because it's like, you imagine Leo dabbles in it from time to time, but you associate him more with cigs.
Yes.
Right? Where you're
Right.
like, yeah, he's playing the stoner
Nicholson,
pretty well, but I feel
pot.
like
Yeah.
Nicholson really
Yeah.
would have knocked it out of the park.
Could Leo have been the Joker in Batman?
No, he just doesn't have like what Nicholson has is that the lips, like
Yes,
his
yes.
facial
Well, part of that's
malleability.
makeup, but
for sure, but it's
yes,
playing
yes.
off of his natural features.
They had always floated him as kind of the Christian Bale era Joker, and I never really saw it. He's not really a Batman. He's not really a Joker. He's not really a superhero guy.
He would be if he was less famous. He'd be a great Commissioner Gordon.
Hey, there you go. Could Jack Nicholson have done Wolf of Wall Street?
Oh yeah,
You think so?
I think he would have been real good
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
too, because he even has like a more evil face, like a predator, sharp wolf teeth face.
Fair enough. Could Leo have done The Shining?
God bless him. No, he couldn't.
You don't think so?
I don't see it.
I kind of do. I actually kind of do.
Really?
Think he would be good in
You
it.
see him
Yeah.
raving around.
Yeah, for sure.
the maze.
I think he would have done the, he would have followed Stephen King's dream to have a more subtle build to the Jack character instead of knowing he's insane right off the bat.
Maybe.
But he can cut loose. I mean, we've seen him cut loose in movies before and yell and
Yes.
scream, and he's not as intimidating as Nicholson.
See, that's it.
But I do think how intimidating do you have to be if it's a lady and child in the middle of nowhere with no way out, right? You're going to be pretty scary no matter what, swinging that axe.
I just
So-
kind of can't see him saying, "I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains."
Can't
I
see
just,
Leo.
I don't know if I see Leo doing that.
and we still are kind of like rooting for him
Yeah.
after that line.
yeah. Because like even in Django, I think his moments of like menace are better when he's quiet as
Yeah.
opposed to when he's screaming. Like he doesn't have as scary of a scream voice to me.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. He's not as controlled with that scream.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's decide. Better actor than better movie star. I vote Leo better actor.
I think he's just a little bit better trained. Like
Okay.
he does. Whereas I think Jack maybe has, a teensy bit more natural talent. I would say Leo has really made that talent into a tremendous instrument. But I think Jack is a movie star, which I think the number one thing is the watchability. I think he's got that.
Can't take your eyes off him. So we both say better actor, Leo.
Yeah.
So 2 points to Leo, and then better movie star. I agree, Nicholson.
Yeah.
So 2 points to Nicholson.
And they're both, I would say, like the absolute pinnacle of that movie star
Yes.
actor
Yes.
combo.
They are both terrific. It's I've wanted to compare them for a while, and it's cool to look at their careers together. We'll have a better case, an argument once Leo, it's all said and done, and he's got a few more movies under his belt, and we'll see. He's got a new one with Scorsese and the aforementioned Jennifer Lawrence. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, to bring it back to that MJ LeBron conversation, I see Leo being like he's entering the bubble. Like he's got maybe the one battle after another was
right.
that Lakers championship in the
Okay.
bubble, and it's like, he's still doing it. He still looks great.
The mustache at the Oscars. Yeah.
There's some young guns coming for him, but they ain't knocked him off the perch yet.
Right.
So
Let's get a final score, Will. What did we have here? We have Nicholson wins 7-3. So a decent fight by Leo. Again, Leo's got 20 years less of career under his belt, so it really would have been something if he won. But this just goes to show there really is no one like Jack Nicholson. I think you could pit him up against anyone. He's always been my favorite, and God, I love watching his movies. It's kind of making me want to fire up Last Detail, Chinatown. It's been a while since I've seen Chinatown. It's burning a hole on my streaming watch list. I may have to fire it up this weekend
just
or
a
something.
casual 3-hour watch with some very intense themes.
Forget it, John. It's just Chinatown. Please subscribe, comment, and leave a rating. Send questions, comments, or big idea suggestions to our business email, flynnbrospod@gmail.com. Thank you to our producer, Will Slade, and we'll see you next time on the Flynn Brothers Podcast. Take care, buddy.
Nobody, you take care.